Dude, first and foremost, can we talk about how much music that is, especially in a time like this? Like, a lot of people, they only really want to stream music. So if she was actually able to sell that damn much music, that's a little crazy. Now, we do have to lightweight note that there is some rumors that Cardi B has quote unquote payola, but we're not going to talk about that right about now. We want to be, positive, but we still got to put out the news and be frank. Anywho, so that was actually announced on Monday, and it looks like her other song with Megan Thee Stallion, WAP, is halfway there with 5 multi-platinum status of March 3rd? We're gonna go to a quick break, and we'll be all right. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences.
It was muted on my side.
Is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents.
Okay, well then we'll just restart. All is well.
Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge.
This is really the rewind today. Learn how to fly a drone. I think it's so dope. Okay, cool. Okay, so today this is definitely going to be the rewind for real. Okay, we are going to run this back one more time. Welcome. Sorry, of course, we had a couple technical difficulties, but you know what? That's okay. This is live TV, and we are having a good time, all right? Anywho, I'm your host, Besa, and this is the next episode, I guess you could call it, of the Rewind with Besa. I don't do them every week. I do them every other week, but I'm thinking about making them weekly. We'll see. Anywho, this is how today's episode will go. My girl, Alicia V, is going to join me in about 20 minutes. Topic-wise, because we are not having a panel, but there's a lot that went on these last couple weeks. So Cardi B made history. We got to talk about that. I recently did a list of 15 artists in the Pacific Northwest that you should know about. So, of course, I have to talk about that. Coming to America 2. Stimulus checks, we'll bring in Alicia, and then of course we'll talk about Master P, The Weeknd boycotting the Grammys, George Floyd, and that royalty. So, without further ado, the first topic is Cardi B. So, here's what I love about Cardi B. I don't know about you guys. I have been following Cardi B for years, okay? I know some people really only learned about Cardi B in, I want to say, what was it, like 2009, 2010 when she went on Love and Hip Hop. Either way, I was following her before then when she was just a stripper that posted ratchet things on Instagram. It was entertaining to me and my life. However, a lot of people kind of counted her out. I think it might be because of her history. You know, you see a girl, she's typically, not even typically. Now that I think about it, you guys, before Cardi B, taking a woman seriously that wants to rap, that was a stripper, it really wasn't a thing. So aside from the history that we're talking about today, you know, when Cardi B first came out, she was a stripper. She went to reality TV, and then no one really took her seriously, like I said. Then she dropped her song, Bodak Yellow, a song that she was trying to get all the DJs to play, and they wouldn't play it. Now, at some point, the song went crazy. You would see NFL players dancing to it. You would see girls doing dances to it on Instagram, and this is before TikTok was even a thing, so people were still just vibing out to the song. Either way, the song is now certified diamond by the RIAA. So she is also the first female rapper to do this, which is a huge deal because, like I said, she's someone that everyone pretty much counted out. And I think when you are someone that everyone has counted out and everyone has kind of felt like, oh, you're not a rapper, you can't rap, and now all of a sudden you're making history. I think that's a big deal, and I definitely think it's very, very commendable to Cardi B. So in other things, she might actually do it again, child. So that song WAP, I'm pretty sure that you've heard about it. It's with Megan Thee Stallion. That song is actually halfway there. So she's very likely to do it again. I'm pretty sure that her fans and Cardi B's fans. I'm pretty sure Cardi B's fans and Megan Thee Stallion's fans are going to come together and do their best to get that song to be the second one to do it. Next topic, you guys. 15 artists in the Pacific Northwest that you should know about. Let me tell you about this. First and foremost, I do these lists, I want to say like once a year. Whenever I do it, I never tell anyone. And that's why I kind of wanted to talk about it here, because I feel like nobody really understands how these lists work. Whenever I drop them, people are sending me DMs. They're like, how do I get on the list? They're like, do I have to pay you for interviews? They're like, you know, how did you find this music? Honestly, it's really just what I like. So for example, for this particular list, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Pacific Northwest, child, we have our own list on Apple Music. Shout out to Daryl Cruz. It is called, I want to say, the New Pacific Northwest. I could be wrong, but either way, what I did is the list is about three hours long. So I went on there, sifted through the list, found 15 artists that I feel that you guys should definitely pay attention to. The beauty of that list, I will say, is that it's not all hip hop, it's not all R&B. There are some like poppy type things in there. So it's a little something for everybody, but obviously I'm more of a hip hop R&B type of girl. So I went onto the Cube site, decided to do a little blog post for you guys, and a couple of the artists, let me see if I can pull up the post. There's someone named Karma Knows. I put Black Soul on there, Tyus, Manifest, Mikey Merritt, J Wop, Maddie, I think that's her name, Royce the Choice. I know you guys know Choice, like, come on now. There's Ralphie, Ricardo, Esteban, and a few other people. It's a pretty long list. I wanted to make sure that when I did do this list, I grabbed at least one song of theirs that you might like or you might not know about. You know, I think that sometimes with upcoming artists, everyone's biggest worry is finding a song that they'll like. So I tried to do my best to make sure I at least picked out my favorite song of theirs. But for future, yes, I am going to do another list. I don't necessarily know when, but the best way for you to get on my list is just to make good music. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a matter of paying me for the interview. Like, the payment for the interview is the amount of time that it takes you to make a good song. Like, I can't, I guess what I'm trying to say is I cannot post a song and it sounds like you recorded it at home. You know what I'm saying? We just got to polish these things up. There are plenty of people out here that you can link with, especially in Tacoma. I've heard so many great things about the studios in Tacoma and the producers that are out in Tacoma. So definitely reach out if you need some help. Next subject, Coming to America 2. Okay. So I know that some of you guys really like the movie. I know some of you guys did not like the movie. Personally, I didn't think it was bad. I also didn't think it was amazing, okay? And here's the thing. Because I felt that way, I went on Instagram and I saw everyone being like, it was super good. Why are you guys hating on it? And I was like, I know it can't just be me. So I went on Twitter and I found a whole bunch of tweets and I wanted to see other people's opinions. Some people are saying that they really enjoyed it. Other people are saying things like, you know, I'm going to watch it with my family or my cousins or something like that. But they don't feel like it compares to the first one. And I agree, you guys. Like, here's the thing. I thought that I was being a little overly critical. I really did. And then I watched the first one again. The first one is so much better. Okay. Like, I understand that people are like, the second one was good. It was nostalgic. Yes, it was. It definitely felt good to see all that melanin on the screen. However, if we are being honest, I could tell that it was filmed in the middle of COVID. I don't know if you guys know this, but I believe that they filmed it at Tyler Perry Studios. That's what I believe I read. So because of that, you know, they weren't really able to move around as much as they typically would have for the first one. So I think it was cute. I don't think it was bad. You know, sometimes they will make a sequel and it'll just be like trash. But what I will say is that for me, I think it was the predictable story plot. And at the same time, it's kind of like, was there really another option? You know what I mean? Like, okay, he comes to America, he finds his wife, he goes back home, and then we're doing a sequel. So I feel like there weren't too many options for them when it comes to that sequel. It's kind of like he either lost his throne and he would be working to get it back, or it's exactly what it was. He had a child somewhere random and he had to go find it, right? So, I mean, I guess it wasn't bad. It did what it needed to do. I don't mind watching it again. And what's so funny? Okay, so you guys know that I'm on Tinder, right? I was talking to like somebody that was on Tinder and I was like, oh, did you watch the new Coming to America movie? And he was like, yeah. I was like, what did you think about it? He goes, I wonder if he's watching this. Oh, well. He goes, I thought it was cool. I wish it was like a little more R-rated. I was like, you mean like more cussing? And he was like, nah, like more nudity. And I was like, so you had to see boobs for it to be a good movie? Like, what does that have to do with anything? So at that point, I really have to go back and watch the first one again. And yes, there are some chichas and tatas all up in there. But that's about it. I'm not really sure how something of that would have made this movie any better. Like, the acting would still be the acting. Anywho, those are just my thoughts. Next topic, you guys. The stimulus checks. Okay. So some people are already actually getting their stimulus checks. Some people got them as early as yesterday. And as you know, it's basically $1,400 per person. And then I think that if you have kids, you get like a whole bunch more. I don't really have any children, but I have a question for who happens to be in the corner working very, very hard on the production. But I need some help on an understanding here, right? When it comes to these stimulus checks, if I'm not mistaken, Canada, they've been getting money. I don't know if it's monthly. I don't know if it's bi-monthly, but they've been out there eating real good. Here, we had the struggle to even get $600. Then there was a struggle to get $1,200. There was a struggle to get this $1,400. And I had this thought. Rent is more than $1,400 in Seattle. Food is expensive. I go to the grocery store myself. I think I just like ran to the grocery store before I started my night shift yesterday. And I spent almost $100 just on my damn self. And it was only like 2 bags. So between the cost of groceries, the cost of car insurance, the electric bills that I hear are out of this world, I'm just really curious to know why we can't do this monthly. Because here's the thing. Knowing good and well that Americans are pretty much in debt right about now because nobody can really be evicted, which is still kind of jacked up when you think about it, because at the end of the day, you're still going to have that balance that you have to figure out at some point. But I digress. Why not give us money monthly? Because you know we're going to have to spend it anyways. It's not like the money won't come back. They're saying that we don't have the money. You have the money and we're going to literally have to give it right back to you. So am I missing something here? Like, are they just being greedy or what's tea?
I mean, Canada is a socialist country. so it's, you're not really comparing apples to apples. You know, it's apples and oranges. And people talk about Canada and the services they get, but they're also taxed way higher than we are here. Also, it's a different kind of government. You know, I mean, you have people who are opposed to masks and all that stuff that they're in Canada, but the majority of the people are just kind of all moving in the same direction. And down here, you got people moving in this different direction. Most Canadians won't vote against their own self-interest, especially poor ones. But in America, because of race and because of political differences, you find that white people and black people, but most of the majority of white people, they'll vote against their own self-interest. Like they'll vote against the stimulus. You know what I'm saying? Because the representative in Congress doesn't want to give them a stimulus, even though they're poor and they're struggling. So Canada doesn't face a lot of issues we do. Also, they have a much higher tax rate.
That's still jacked up. I just feel like there should be a better way to like help these Americans. It's like I said, you give us $1,400 and you know getting well that some people owe like $15,000 in rent right now. So it's like the money is going to be gone before they even get it. But whatever the case may be, we are going to go to a quick commercial. My girl Alicia is going to join us to talk about a few more topics, especially when we have to get into that royalty, honey. So yeah, stay locked to the Real with Besa on Converge Media.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
Hey everybody, it's a celebration and you're invited to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the Morning Update Show with us at Converge Media. Join us on Friday, March 19th at 7 p.m. for a special episode of the Morning Update Show as we look back at our first year on air and celebrate the bright future before us. So save the date and join me and my partner in crime, Trey Holiday, on Friday, March 19th at 7 p.m. for the Morning Update Show 1-year anniversary special, live across all Converge Media platforms.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
I know that's right. What's up? Welcome back to the Rewind with Besa. Do not forget on Friday at 7 p.m. we are celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Morning Update Show. Join us all. I'm definitely going to pull up and have a good time for the celebration. Really quick, you guys, I want to do a shout out to my boo, Leon. He constantly supports every single time I'm on here, even when I'm like just on the Morning Update Show. I usually see him in the comments. And he said, I'm with Besa. There's no real fiscal reason why the government shouldn't be giving us more money to get through the pandemic. And like I said, it's like, I get what you're saying. Oh, but it's like, you guys are going to get the money right back. Like, hello. Either who. Can we bring in my boo, Alicia?
Hey.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome back to the show. You are looking grand per usual.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't start. Okay, so one of the topics you wanted to touch on is actually really dope. I did not know that Master P was doing this or that he was talking about this. He wants to do something with HBCUs. Give us the tea.
Yes. Okay. So as a HBCU alum, all about that Aggie Pride, North Carolina A&T, I am very excited that he is going to be doing this endeavor. So Master P, if you don't know, rapper extraordinaire, icon, business mogul, all of the above and more. He has been in talks of wanting to own his own NBA team. However, he now wants to make his endeavors into owning an HBCU. He states that he's been looking into the business and realizing how necessary HBCUs are for the Black community and for the community as a whole. And he also says that a lot more women graduate from HBCUs than any other league of the higher education. So I think this is great. I think we have a short video of what he posted on Instagram.
So y'all know I always wanted to own an NBA team, but now I want to own an HBCU. It's so important that we educate the culture. This message is all about educating our people. Shout out to LeBron and the NBA for having an all-star game there. But when I Google who own HBCUs and who are the founders, I was shocked. And I just want you guys to do the same thing. Did you know that HBCU graduate more females than any other college in the world, which is incredible. It makes you tougher, harder, stronger when you graduate from an HBCU. People ask me why didn't I go there? I wanted to go there. I mean, check this guy named Avery Johnson. That was one of my friends. I should go visit him. I wanted to go to Southern University. But at the time when I was going to visit him, they never had AC. I don't know if it's like that now. It was always hot, but it was the beautifulest thing I ever seen. So many beautiful people that look like us that was getting an education. And I just want you guys to do your research. And anybody that's listening to this that has a business, I want y'all to join this movement with me. We need to make sure that our kids get educated the way the other cultures are educated. And that funding is put back into our education, because education is the key. Yeah, we got to change the narrative, and it's going to be with economic empowerment.
Okay, I did not go to an HBCU. I actually dropped out of college, period, but that's another story for another day. Did y'all have AC? Was it that hot in there?
Okay, sometimes there's some struggles, but it's fine. It makes you better. And I'm just really excited that someone in the community is taking strides to bring back to the culture, because me going to my HBCU completely changed the dynamic of my life. I wouldn't even be in media if it wasn't for my HBCU. So shout out to A&T, the vibes, because, I'm tried and true for my HBCU.
All right, next up, we have to talk about The Weeknd. So I don't know if you guys heard, but The Weeknd is now boycotting the Grammys. And it's a very interesting reason as to why. Alicia, what do you think?
So, as Besa perfectly said, this man is now boycotting the Grammys. He went and told New York Times that he is, I quote, "because of the secret committees, I will no longer allow my label to submit my music to the Grammys." With everything that's been going on, I guess he just doesn't want that to happen anymore. And the producer and songwriter who is a part of the Academy, who is the chief executive, Harvey Mason Jr., says that he's disappointed when everyone is upset, but he will continue to work to evolve the committee and to evolve the Grammys and improve their awards process. So
now, here's my thing. My girl, Jazzy Red. So first of all, I did not listen to the album. Okay. So I could sit here and say why I think that he was not nominated. I want to get your thoughts on this clip that we had from last week, week before last, this panel where my girl Jazzy Red, who apparently is a huge Weeknd fan, gives her thoughts on why he was not nominated for a Grammy.
Okay. So anybody on this panel, did anybody listen to the last album, After Hours, by The Weeknd?
Well, no.
Not particularly.
No.
I did not seek that album out. Yeah.
It's okay, because it wasn't good. So that's why he wasn't nominated. That's why he was not nominated.
And
it had nothing to do with race discrimination. And I'm doing a whole Black History Project, you guys. Like, I can see discrimination when it's there. This is not discrimination. No. It just was not good. Like, I listened to, and I am a fan of The Weeknd. And I listened to all of the albums that he's ever put out. And this last one, I was like, what is this? And I even asked my boyfriend, who also is a fan, and he was like, this ain't it, Abel. I said, exactly. So it just was not a good album. He had maybe 2 or 3 decent songs on it. The theme was weird. I don't know if you guys have seen that picture or the videos of him when he has like a jacked up face. Or, okay, if you guys saw the Super Bowl, when all the people had the stuff on their face from like looking like they had facial surgery. It's all part of the theme of this After Hours album. It's not good. It's just not good.
There's a lot of albums that weren't good, that are not good, that respectfully get nominated and actually win. So it's kind of
this is true.
So
this
like
is
for the Weeknd to all of a sudden not have a good album, like, and not get nominated, it's like, okay.
And this is the thing. And this is why I also think that he was upset. It's because he's always had white people's attention. He's always had white people's attention.
Right.
So now that he doesn't, he's pissed. Your album's trash. So we're just gonna ignore that part. You know, like, your album's trash, but because you've always had the white gaze, you know, like, people have always in the white community admired you, and they don't like this album, or they didn't even nominate you for this album. Now you're upset. I understand it sucks that you're not nominated. You know, I get it. But the piece of art just was not it. It wasn't.
She said what she said. I know you wasn't ready for that, but I didn't warn you for a reason. So why do you think that he wasn't nominated, sis?
I would have to go with Jazz's approach because I, as a lover of The Weeknd, I love the trilogy. Trilogy was top 10, you know. I don't think that this was his best work. I also agree with the other panelists being like, you know, a lot of artists and awards go to people who don't necessarily do the best work. However, I just don't think that this was his best project. And recently, a lot of artists have just been against the Grammys, and I guess this was his way to now co-sign, I guess.
Well, you know, apparently, I guess they asked, first of all, Beyonce has 9 nominations, and she still said she's not performing, apparently.
That's fine. She's better than that. She's better
She's
than
like,
that.
I have better things to do. Like, nothing. And that's no shade to the Grammys. I think the Grammys is amazing. I still think that there is a way to fix it, and I think fixing it is by adding more people of color. I don't have the graphic that we had last time, but you know, Diddy called them out in like 2019 saying you guys need to fix this and there needs to be more inclusion. And what they ended up doing was for their 2020 class, they invited more people of color. But it still was 50% white. And then like for African Americans, I think it was like 23%. Yeah. So it's like there is still a lot of work to be done. And let me tell you something. If I can get on that board, I will take my little booty right on there. Because it's like, yes, we could sit here and complain about it. But if we're not going to do anything to help fix it, what are we really doing?
Right.
So
maybe sign us up. Come on. Grammys. Let's go.
Run it. Okay. You had a topic on George Floyd.
Yes, there's some updates with the estate and the case. So the city of Minneapolis, is announcing that George Floyd's estate will be getting $27 million after the city council votes to settle the lawsuit with the family. So a statement from George Floyd's brother says, I thank the state of Minnesota for getting the settlement taken care of. But even though my brother is not here, he's with me in my heart, because if I could get him back, I would give all of this back. I know that he is with us. He is standing up right now, knowing that we have the opportunity to be able to fund low-income African-American communities. I think that is something, you know? It's better than nothing. Obviously, I would have wished that his death wasn't what happened, but they are making a foundation. They have started a foundation in his name, so they're going to be using that money to, as I said, the brother is using the money for low-income Black families. So the money will be used for good use, which is amazing.
Yeah, I have the same sentiment of the brother, and he actually says it. You know what? We have a clip in case you guys have not seen when the brother came out and spoke about the money and what he would rather do with the money. We got that little clip for you.
Thank y'all so much. While I'm relieved that the settlement has been taken care of, I'd like to thank Minnesota. I'd like to thank our legal team for standing with us throughout all times, especially Ben. Ben has been here with us for so long, throughout the times that I need to speak with him at night about my brother, about different things. So I thank the state of Minnesota for getting this settlement taken care of. But even though my brother is not here, he's here with me in my heart. Because if I could get him back, I will give all of this back.
I concur. Leon was asking, does this mean the trial is off? And actually, no, they are still going to trial, and it looks like they have seated 7 jurors already. So we'll be seeing something pretty soon.
This was just the civil side of the case.
Mm-hmm. Do you think with everything that we've seen over the years that he's going to be convicted at all? Because honestly, I don't know. Like typically, I'm like, yes, I'm like, no, but honestly, I just really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that maybe because of how much is surrounding the case, maybe there will be some sort of penalization, but it may not be exactly what everyone is looking for. It may be just enough to put the city in a good standing with their people, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be like they're not reinstated because one of the officers was reinstated. I don't think it's going to be any severe jail time, but maybe like community service, maybe something, but probably not enough to justify what they did.
So basically what you're saying is that it's very high in potential that he might get something, but mainly enough for them to not burn down the city again.
Right. Which is unfortunate.
And that's really what it is. I think at this particular point, like being in radio and having to like talk about this and like live through the whole thing when it happened, I don't know. I think I'm just at a point to where I'm like, I'm just going to see what you guys do. Like I could say everything, I could give every prediction, but it doesn't really matter. I just really have to sit and wait and see what happened. Like I think we all had our hopes up so much when it came to Trayvon Martin, thinking that the right thing would happen. And look, nothing happened. If anything, he ended up going to jail for something completely different. Same thing with Breonna Taylor. They're over here getting time for literally missing her. So at this particular point, it's like, I would hope that you would have the sense to know that this was wrong and that he literally did this maliciously, especially being that he allegedly, I need to get one of those allegedly buttons, child. He allegedly knew George Floyd, which makes it to where this was lightweight personal. It's not like this was just some random man that you knew this guy and you still did that. So I don't know what happened the day before, but I hope for the best, but I'm preparing for the worst.
Yeah, unfortunately. It just sucks that that's what we're kind of accustomed to. I feel like the world is kind of numb to it now. So, yeah.
It's unfortunate. But now we're going to get into some royalty that has nothing to do with us. We're going to go to a quick commercial break so I can drink me some water and actually get me some tea. Stay locked to the Rewind with Besa.
Hey everybody, it's a celebration and you're invited to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the Morning Update show with us at Converge Media. Join us on Friday, March 19th at 7 p.m. for a special episode of the Morning Update show as we look back at our first year on air and celebrate the bright future before us. So save the date and join me and my partner in crime, Trey Holiday, on Friday, March 19th at 7 p.m. for the Morning Update show 1-year anniversary special, live across all Converge media platforms.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Welcome back. This is another episode of The Rewind with Besa. I am joined by my boo, Alicia, and child, we talked about some things today, but we definitely have to get into this royal tea, all right? Do you want to talk about the suicide first? The suicidal attempts or thoughts first?
Okay, so if you have
get the heavy out the way.
Right. If you have not seen the interview, I will let you know what we're talking about essentially. So
and we have the clips too.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's just run the clip so I don't even have to talk. Megan's gonna
tell
you.
Right.
Look, I was really ashamed to say it at the time and ashamed to have to admit it to Harry, especially because I know how much loss he's suffered.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that if I didn't say it, that I would do it. And I just didn't want to be alive anymore. And that was a very clear and real and frightening constant thought.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I wanted to put a trigger warning. Unfortunately, I didn't say that earlier. But during the interview, as you saw, Meghan Markle discusses a lot of different things that she had to encounter with the royal institution, including the royal family. And one of the things was that she was unwell. She was mentally not stable to do the things that they would want her to do. She went to the institution, she went to higher ups in the family and requested support. And from her accounts, they did not give her the support that was needed, which is very sad that such a powerful entity in this world, one of the only monarchies left in this world, did not want to help someone who truly needed help. You help people physically, but is mental health not deemed worthy enough to be helped at the same time?
I found it so interesting that they said it would be a bad look for the family. Like, her getting help would be a bad look. Like, not even to take this into fairy tale. This reminds me of like on Bridgerton when they made one of the mixed girl that ended up being pregnant. And they made her stay in her room because they didn't want anyone to know that she was pregnant. And so at that point, she was ready to kill herself also. So I just find it so interesting that their image is so important to them. And let me ask you this. Do you think that part of it is because they did not want for her to continue outshining Kate?
She was having the favor of the English people, so that could be an issue. I just think because she was doing so well at learning so much. Also in the interview, she discussed that she did not receive any help to learn the new culture that she got into or how the royal families and royalties work. So she was doing so well at kind of acclimating herself to the culture, and people were starting to love her, that I guess that was stepping on somebody's toes.
I mean, I could see that. I mean, let me tell you something. I believe her. Why would I leave a situation like that if it wasn't horrible? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't see you wanting to leave that situation, especially in a point of where, you know what, let's get into this next clip because it takes us into this topic of, let's see, what is it, clip 20, where they talk about the racism in the palace and wondering about the skin tone of the baby.
In those months when I was pregnant, all around this same time, so we have in tandem the conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title. And also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What?
And
who is having that conversation with you? What?
So,
there is a conversation. Hold up.
There's
Stop
several
right now.
There are several conversations.
There's a
about
conversation with you,
with Harry,
about how dark your baby is going to be.
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Ooh. And you're not going to tell me who had the conversation?
I think that would be very damaging to them.
Okay.
First of all, I want to know who said that, because, and I don't really know how some people feel about this. Some people still go by the one drop rule, but I'm not that great at math. But Meghan is half black, half white. As far as we know, Harry is white. So at that point, this baby is 25% black. And so then we can even bring that into our recent conversations of, you know, the baby and his ex-girlfriend, Danny Lay, who was allegedly pregnant, but that ain't my business. But she claimed that she was 37% West African, and everyone was like, girl, that's not enough. So people are running around talking about little Archie being black, and I'm like, well, he's technically white. Am I wrong?
I mean, he is giving a little bit of an eggshell color. I honestly and truly, I want to say that she said that it's not the queen and it's not the queen's husband. So let's get that correct. It's not Queen Elizabeth who was having the conversation. My issue, not only is it the issue of the race of the baby, like why does that matter? One, but it's the fact that you decided to have the conversation with Harry and not Meghan. And it was like multiple conversations. You didn't want to ask the woman who you're questioning her blackness, but yet you want to ask Harry. Like, that's my issue. It seems like with the situation, they're very tiptoeing. They don't want to outright say things to Meghan, so they go and tell other people to tell Meghan. And I think that's just very messy.
I feel like that's because there's definitely some racial undertones in there. Can we pull up Gossip Overlay 23? Because I was minding my own little business, getting ready to come here, and I had a notification from TMZ. And this is what popped up. I don't know who this Charlie Hito person is, but this is the cover of his latest magazine. Literally a reenactment of George Floyd. And then they just put Meghan there. Which at that point, it takes me to where I guess his brother was like, somebody asked his brother, I forget what his name is, but they were like, oh, is the royal family racist? And he was like, we're very much not racist. And I was like, first of all, I almost wonder if he was really trying to say, well, he was about to say we're very much racist, but he realized he shouldn't say that out loud. So he randomly tossed in that not, because who says that like that? But then also it's like, even if they in particular are not racist, someone around them is racist. Because what is the firm? Like what, like who, like, is it like on Game of Thrones or, you know, on Bridgerton where they have like those advisors that are around them and that's basically like their government, which really makes it to where they don't really have as much say as they should?
So from my understanding, I am not British. I've only been to London. So like, I don't know everything. But from my understanding, there's the family, the faces of the royal institution. And then the firm are like the governmental heads. So also like the prime minister, I believe, is a part of the firm. So it's like you have the figureheads, the people that you see are governing. And then you also have the people who are actually doing all the governing. And they kind of go back and forth on what gets passed. So it's like two different entities. So it's like our president and then their Congress. But you know that Congress is doing most of the work.
Because if Congress would have, for example, voted down the stem, they would have had to go all the way back from scratch, and then eventually it would make it there. So they're the ones that basically made it to where Archie would not get the title because they said they had to like change the rules. And I was like, well, why did you change the rules?
I want to know why rules weren't changed for Kate, because last time I checked, Kate's American, isn't she? So what's the difference here?
Oh, is she?
I thought that Kate was of some sort of American descent. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe is she American? I think she's British.
She's British too?
I think so.
Still, it don't matter.
It doesn't matter. We actually have another clip where Harry is actually with her. And this, I want to say, is clip 21. And he talks about how the family cut him off.
I never thought that I would have my security removed because I was born into this position. I inherited the risk. My family literally cut me off financially, and I had to afford security for us.
Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. Your family cut you off?
Yeah, in the first quarter of 2020. But I've got what my mum left me, and without that, we would not have been able to do this. I think she saw it coming. And I certainly felt her presence throughout this whole process. And for me, I'm I'm just really relieved and happy to be sitting here talking to you with my wife by my side.
First of all, I love their love. Like, that's some real love for me to move out of a palace for you. I'm just saying. Second of all, can we talk about how much I love Oprah really, really quick? Oprah and her reactions are really what made it to where this interview got real spicy. Because if you think about it, when Megan spoke about the skin tone thing, it almost seemed as if she was talking to one of her aunties and giving her auntie the tea. And then at that moment when Oprah was like, what? She realized that she might have said something that she shouldn't have said. But in my opinion,
and she was like, oh, hold on, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Whoa.
But in my opinion, Oprah heard that and was like, oh, we're about to go viral. Like, I already knew this was going to be a thing, but this is about to be a moment. However, so for those of you that don't know, Diana ended up leaving him, I want to say like $15 million or something like that, which is a lot of money, especially if you know how to flip it. But I saw something where apparently security for him for 1 year could be like $5 million. And he has to pay for his own security now.
Yeah, because they won't give security to Megan and the baby. He could have had security, but he gave it up because if his family's not safe, then he's not safe.
What's the point? And then also there was another clip that I had, it's Gossip 22, where apparently Oprah, like I said, she's messy. She pretty much was like, so is it possible that they were threatened by Megan?
Not only was I not being protected, but that they were willing to lie to protect other members of the family.
Meghan and Harry both say it really changed on their royal tour in Australia.
That's when we announced we were pregnant with Archie. That was our first tour.
But it was also the first time that the family got to see how incredible she is at the job. And that brought back memories.
Memories of his mother, Princess Diana, adored by the public from her very first tour in Australia, almost outshining the future King Prince Charles.
So are you saying that there were hints of jealousy?
I just wish that we would all learn from the past.
I do too, but 2021, things are repeating itself like nothing really ever happened before.
And I know what's so why it's hitting him so hard is because it's literally a repeat.
And he's like, I'm trying to prevent this in the best way that I can, but I don't know. That whole little tabloid that I found from TMZ that they put over there, it just really makes me wonder what else that she went through that she doesn't want to speak on. Because to me, it's pretty clear that yes, there were things that were within like the tabloids and the firm that were like, coming at her, but I feel like the family, aside from the queen, is really what got on her caboose at times. Because if you don't even have the support of your family, because I don't know, in my opinion, like I said, I felt like they would have rather thrown her under the bus than Kate. The simple fact that they had that whole rumor going on that Kate ended up Megan made Kate cry, and it was really the other way around. It's like, okay, you guys know that you could have corrected that. But no, you let it rock and you made her look crazy like the quote unquote angry Black woman.
I just want to know why people really thought that was real. Because why would someone that's not in my wedding or has anything to do with my wedding be upset that I'm changing my Flower Girls dresses? I'm just confused of why someone would care that much they would cry. But that's none of my business.
I watched, yes, I am trying to be messy. I was watching someone on YouTube and they were saying they think the reason why there was a problem with the dresses is because Kate's kids are actually princesses and princes. So she probably was like, I don't want my kids wearing the same type of dress as them. We don't know. That's all alleged. Obviously, all we really can do is sit around and speculate. But I think they're definitely going to have a book. I wouldn't be surprised if they do some behind the scenes documentary. Like, they're going to get their money somehow because they've been cut off. Like, yeah, you have this $5 million, but unless all they do is, I guess they could invest it and start a business or something like that. But I would write a book.
Yeah, they started a foundation, Archwell, and like they said, a lot of people have been criticizing them for speaking out, but yet they want privacy. It's like how it's a difference. Like Oprah was saying in an interview with Gail the very next day, it's like there's a lane between privacy and like admitting what has happened to you. And I feel like this is the perfect time to do it because there's so much that America doesn't know has happened. Like we obviously, like Besa said earlier, like we saw what was happening, but not really. Clearly, we did not see anything from over this side. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like with the statement that came back, they may not ever talk about it again because the family has said that they are going to be handling everything privately because it's very concerning for them. So maybe after this, there won't be any more talk because they'll get silenced, allegedly, maybe.
But can they be silenced from America? I feel like that's why they're talking right now because they're over here and it's like, you're not giving me any money. You're not protecting me. You're not housing me. You stripped me of my titles. He doesn't even have his military titles anymore. So it's like, look, at this point, I feel that the only reason why they are sparing them is because they care about the queen. I really feel like they do not want anything to happen to the queen because the queen is still taking care of the king who is like sick in the hospital. So I really think that they are more so worried about their elders than really anything else because otherwise there's no other reason to hold back.
Right. I just feel like they are a very powerful entity. And I just feel like they're going to figure out some way to make this girl pay for what she said, even though it's her truth. And it's clearly the truth if they are not wanting to speak on it outright to the public.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got on that topic. Anything else you got on that topic, sis?
I'm just over it. I just need everyone to be nice to Megan, okay? Be nice to Megan. Megan ain't do nothing, but be nice to people, okay? That's it.
All right, you guys, we are going to go to another commercial break. And then when we come back, we're going to wrap up the show.
Hey everybody, it's a celebration and you're invited to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the Morning Update show with us at Converge Media. Join us on Friday, March 19th at 7 p.m. for a special episode of the Morning Update show as we look back at our first year on air and celebrate the bright future before us. So save the date and join me and my partner in crime, Trey Holiday, on Friday, March 19th at 7 p.m. for the Morning Update show 1-year anniversary special, live across all Converge media platforms.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
All right. First and foremost, do not forget this Friday. Well, I guess kind of this Friday. Y'all know what I'm saying. 7 p.m. is the 1-year anniversary for the Morning Update show. Make sure that you tune in. I am going to pull up. It is going to be a schmood. You do not want to miss it. Also, in case you've ever wondered who does our amazing graphics for the Rewind with Besa, it's my buddy Derek, okay? You can check him out at loudandbrown.com. Get you some graphics. He's super sweet, very accommodating. Like, I be like randomly hitting him up and I'm just like, sorry, it's last minute. And somehow, some way he still gets it done. And he's just so sweet and so patient with me. So definitely hit him up if you need something done. Real quick, could you bring in my girl Alicia? I want to thank you so much for joining me to talk about, especially this royalty. I don't think that's a subject that you can really talk about by yourself. Your podcast. Are you still? Let everybody know where they can check you out.
Yes, right now we're on a little hiatus, but we coming back with some big things. So you need to follow us over on Instagram at The Lituation R Pod. And on Twitter at The Lituation RMP. And you can follow me everywhere at Leisha Live.
Well, I want to thank you. And I want to talk with you later about what the next panel should be about, because I'm scratching my brain and it kind of hurts at this point, so I need some help.
I got you, girl.
So I'm gonna text you some ideas about what I'm thinking about, so that way we can have something dope for the end of the month. You know, it's still Women's History Month, so we definitely want to try to do something for the ladies if we can, or maybe even have like a little lady segment. But also, before you go, let everybody know where they can find you on Instagram.
At Delisha B Live, LISHB Live.
I know that's right. All right, sis. I will talk to you a little bit later.
Bye, guys.
All right, you guys, that was another episode of The Rewind with Besa. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I don't know if you learned anything, but I definitely got my little rants out per usual. I typically have something interesting to say, but honestly, I really don't. It's nice outside. If you're in Seattle, go out, do something nice, go by the water, even if that just means, I don't want to say drinking wine because not everybody drinks, but drink something that makes your soul smile, all right? Anywho, until next time, stay locked to The Rewind with Besa on Converge Media. You can check it out on all of the platforms. We even have the podcast up. And you can keep up with me on Cube Monday through Saturday, 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. If you're in Portland, you can listen to me on Jammin' Saturday, Sunday, 12 a.m. to, did I say my time wrong? Yeah, I did. Weekdays on Cube, 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. Weekends on Jammin', 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. And of course, you can always listen in on that iHeartRadio app. And social media, it's pretty simple, Besa Gordon. So yeah, till next time, if you guys have any topics for another panel I should do, definitely shoot me a DM on IG at Besa Gordon. And yeah, talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.